What's up, everybody? This is Danthrax. Just wanted to let you guys know that starting next week, we will be transitioning Jumping Under the Influence to its own stream on iTunes. So if you want to check it out, go ahead and search DZR on iTunes, or you can go to dzrgaming.com. The idea around this is just to make sure that everyone has access to a nice, tidy stream, and they can focus on the content that they want to hear from DZR. So go ahead and check out Jumping Under the Influence now on its own stream on iTunes. Thanks a lot and enjoy the show.
Today on Jumping Under the Influence, we talk about PAX, Sony's PS Pro, Doug, Cowboy Doug gets down in the mudding.
It's like a question mark. Pro?
PS Pro?
And we talk about automated driving.
Oh, we need automated hosting is what you need, man.
Today on Jumping Under the Influence, we talk PAX, Sony's PS Pro, Cowboy Doug gets down in the mudding, and we talk about automated driving.
Welcome to DZR's JUI, where we jump from topic to topic, all around games, entertainment, and technology. This is Golden Graham, your host for the evening. All right, we got a full house tonight, and we have 5 guys here. So this is Golden Graham, your host for the evening, and we have Danthrax, the founder of DZR, here with us tonight. How's it going, Danthrax?
Yeah, I just want to, for the record, outline your transgressions in recorded form tonight. So we're going to do that real quick.
Let me stop the recording real quick.
I know that's not part of the agenda, but I think it's necessary. First, we were late because you had lost your mic. Couldn't find it. Lost somewhere in the living room. We finally get on. I give a beautiful and inspiring and very descriptive description of my PAX experience. We get to the end of it, and you haven't hit the record button.
This is true. Well, you know that my plan was to do the whole
so
podcast that way it was like undercover boss, and then we just do the real podcast later.
This is the good one. I'm good, man. Good to be here. Glad to be with you, gents, joining your general jackassery, which has been on display already this evening.
Unfortunately, it's all lost because it's not recording.
Well, yeah, I think we have it now. I see a red light, so.
Yeah, we're
blanking red.
I see the blank.
Mr. T is also here tonight. How's it going, Mr. T?
It's going great so far. I love it. 3 minutes in.
Oh, that
great.
beautiful microphone. What kind of microphone is that?
And I just, for all the listeners out there, all 57 of you, PS4 Pro it's not a question. It's actually a thing. I don't know if Graham's introduction there was confusing. It does exist. PS4 Pro?
Tim, and do I see you have your microphone on a box?
I do have my microphone on a box,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, very nice.
I love how we're like all responding. These are the exact same things that we said 15 minutes ago, trying to make it natural.
Trying to recreate the magic here.
Is that a new mic?
Classic. We got Cowboy Doug back in the saddle.
Hello, shalom. Darn it, you messed that up too. Greetings, shalom, hello. That's what I did last time. That's right. All right, next person.
And we got Beard Bullets. How's it going, Beard?
Mazel tov.
Richer from selling that beard hair.
Yes, I am slightly, I'm slightly poor now because I spent it all. But yeah, that money's long gone. But I did buy a new XLR cable, so my audio waves should be sounding a little bit clearer than last time.
You sound great.
Oh, I should sound better too because I got a mic condom.
That's right. Oh, yeah. The mic
we didn't
condom.
talk about that last time.
Yeah, that's the mic condom.
Yeah, you do sound a little better. Mike Condom for the win.
Mike Condom.
All right, well, let's get back, and we have a packed agenda. Let's make Dan say everything all over again. Dan, give us the background around PAX. I want to hear all the details about the sharing a room with the sweaty gamer. Did you have to do that? Did you get a nice snack? Was it just pretzels in the room?
What was the bathroom situation like? Was it up to code? Was it up to code?
Well, here, so I've had a practice run at this. We'll see if I can do better this time around. PAX was great.
Okay.
All right.
Moving on.
No, man, PAX was awesome. So for those of you guys that don't know, I got flown out by Ubisoft to be a part of their Star Player program to PAX West, I guess a couple weeks ago now. And PAX West is a gaming conference out in Seattle, and it was fantastic, man. It's a consumer show, so basically they just kind of regular gamers. It's not industry folks and press only like E3 and some of those other shows are. Anybody can go. So it was a lot of fun, man. It was packed out. Flew out there. Got to meet a bunch of the community managers for the Ubisoft games, which was a lot of fun. We could talk about that a little later. But put me up in a nice hotel. Although I will say, when I was reading the description of the hotel, it had this interesting phrase, boutique-style rooms, which...
Closets.
Yeah, I now know to be code. Well, the rest of the room was fine, but the bathroom, I think, is where they took up the space. The toilet. The toilet is what I want to talk about. I think generally you need about 15 inches from the center of the bowl to either side to have proper functioning and maneuverability when on the throne. This one they had kind of wedged in between a wall and a sink, and so you kind of had to the way you had to enter was kind of like you back in a trailer into a parking spot. You had to kind of pull out to the front and then kind of wedge yourself, shimmy back to get a seat, and which made the cleanup interesting. But other than that, man, it was a great time. We had some good food.
You got to take boutique type dumps. That's all. Boutique size.
Petite dumps.
Petite, yeah. Right. Befitting the space, the maneuverability. But it was a good trip, man. Had a lot of fun, and again met some great people. I was the oldest guy there. Second oldest. There was a forum guy from Rocksmith that was probably 20 years older than me. But other than that, everybody else was like 20, 21, single, and I'm like, yeah, my wife let me come out here for the weekend. It was awesome.
So you're the only guy that could go to a bar after?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. So I have a question, Dan. I have a question. So how long did it take for them to realize that you're not actually a star player?
Well, see, this was the trick. I mean, what I figured was I just roamed around the floor and didn't actually play anything because, somebody would have narked me. Somebody would have narked me.
You didn't want to give it away. You didn't want to play your cover.
You did do some Street Fighter, though, but you did lose, I think, right?
No, I won, actually. So I did I was out there with one of the guys from the Division Forums was out there with me. Robert, good dude. Check him out. The Division Forums. .com. There's your shout out, Robert. But he's a big dude, man. Holy crap. He was probably 6'5", 6'6", 230, 240, something like that. So big brother. He was my we walked around a lot. I had no worries about getting in an altercation. But he was the guy that I took on in Street Fighter, and I whooped him. I was Ryu, and so I was doing the Hadoukens and the Ryukens.
Nice.
But it was a lot of fun, man. Nice. The one thing about PAX being that it's a consumer show is the lines were ridiculous. There were a couple things I really wanted to try. I didn't get to play anything really except for the Ubisoft games. We had kind of priority status. I kept walking around with my Ubisoft exhibitor badge, trying to cut people in line, but
oh, that's messed up.
but it didn't work. So some of the lines were especially for some of the VR things, like PSVR, you couldn't even walk up. You had to reserve weeks in advance, a time slot. The Bethesda VR for Fallout had a 4-hour wait. It was incredible. But just the scale of it, man, huge. Lots of cool cosplay going on, which was cool too. And the neat thing about PAX is they have these whole sections where it's indie games only, which was kind of cool. They have a whole section for board and card games, which was pretty wild. And the craziest thing I saw was we walked down onto this one floor and they have two sections. One was a PC free play section where they must have had, I kid you not, it looked like a football, half a football field, just rows and rows of PCs hooked up for people to play. It was incredible. And then on the other side of that, there was bring your own PC. Same thing, massive space where people just brought their own computers in to just hang out and game for the weekend. So it was cool, man. It was really cool.
Now, Dan, quick question, bud. We didn't get a chance to talk about this before, but the board and card game, was that a big part of PAX also? I mean, we played Settlers of Catan and all that stuff, but I know through listening to other podcasts that board games and some card games like Magic have still not died. Is that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
as active as it people make it sound?
Yeah, dude. I mean, in terms of the vendors and stuff, there were a ton of people there playing games. There were whole sections when you would go up where they would have like booths around the outside, and then the center would just be these tables set up for people to sit down and play all kinds of different games. Some like really complex looking ones. But then, and the other thing that would happen is, so the floor would close at 6 every day. And then they would, when the actual floor closed, they would open up a whole nother area for people to just go and sit and play card games and stuff. And there were huge kind of like lounges of like Pokemon Go players that would kind of trek out into the city, like a vast nerd army. It was wild, man. It was really, really cool.
I mean, PAX started as a tabletop and card convention, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a Penny Arcade exhibition or something.
Yeah,
I think that's what it stands for. But yeah, huge thanks to Ubisoft, man. It was a great experience. I did get to play a couple of Ubisoft games. I got to play For Honor, which is the upcoming, released in about 5 months, I think, upcoming medieval combat game, which was pretty cool. We could talk about that more on another cast, I think. And then I also got to play their virtual reality thing. So Eagle Flight, which was I think you guys probably they showed video at E3. You're flying around like an eagle or whatever in VR. And I played another VR game too, which was really cool.
Is that Eagle Flight game going to be multiplayer? Do I remember that from E3?
Yes. Yep. The version that I played wasn't so E3 they did this like capture the flag thing, but the one I played was more of like a trainer, kind of like they were just working the maneuverability. The controls are weird in that game because you only use your controller for like button presses. All of the actual movement is controlled by the tilting of your head. So if you want to like turn right, you basically tilt your head right. You look down, you look up to kind of change that, and then you could control like speed and stuff from your controller. But all the directionality, all the directional control was with your head, which was interesting.
There's going to be a lot of dudes with really strong necks walking around.
Exactly. Massive necks. Well, no, I think if you had a neck issue, I mean, or you played it for a long period of time, I could totally see it. Yeah, you got to stretch. You got to stretch first.
Oh, yeah.
But
limber up.
It was cool. The coolest, even cooler than that, and the visuals on it were good. I have this kind of weird thing on with my eyes where I have two very drastically different prescriptions in each eye, which I think, it didn't look entirely crisp. Part of that's probably, just where the technology is, but part of it may have been with my eye. But really immersive experience. It was wild because at one point I actually, after I was done, asked them, like, did you have a fan blowing on my face? Because at one point I literally felt like I had air. Like when I was diving, I literally felt like I had air on my face, which I didn't, unless that guy Robert was blowing on my face, which would have been a little weird. But no, I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't do that.
Oh.
But it was, man, it was wild. It was like your brain's just messing with you. The other VR thing we played was called The Werewolf Within, and it was basically like, it was kind of like a board game type thing where you had 6 players. And so you all get in, right? You get into the goggles and you're in this kind of world and you have these avatars, fully animated, functioning. You're sitting around a campfire looking at everybody. And the point of the game is somebody gets designated as the werewolf, only they know. And you go through this series of clues to figure out who it is.
There's a card game that does the same thing called Werewolf.
Yeah, exactly. Reminded me of that. But the wildest thing was, so we got in and the game wasn't set up. So we had about 10 minutes with just me and some of the other star players just interacting as our avatars. And it was unbelievable. It was really, number one, visually it was dark. And it was kind of like the animation style reminded me of like, that movie Ratatouille? Mm-hmm. Kind of like very angular facial expressions, like hot, that's what it kind of looked like, but it was at night. And so you had a lot of atmospherics and fire and things like that. And it looked just incredible. And being able to look up at the stars or turn around. At one point, a book pops up to tell you the controls, and you could actually lean to the side and see behind it. Just really crazy. But the social interaction aspect of it, so the way they worked this out, when you talked, so we're all in headsets, right? Of course, when you talked, they animate your character. So the character's moving your hands and moving the head and the mouth is moving. And then there were emoticons. So you could like point or do different gestures. And we just basically goofed around for 10 minutes and it was incredibly enjoyable. I mean, it was like really just like pointing and like saying ridiculous stuff and standing up and sitting down and doing these kind of rudimentary things, but engaging in a social space in that kind of fully autonomous, as avatars. It was really, I'm a believer in VR after having experienced that.
Sounds like the Oasis.
Was that on the Oculus, or what was that platform?
Yeah, that was it was on the Oculus. Yep.
Nice. So will you be purchasing PSVR this October?
I think so. Maybe not in October, but I think I'll be buying it.
Now, did you try on all the headsets, but the Oculus, PSVR, and then the what's the other one?
The only one I got to do was the Oculus, because the lines were just too crazy at the other stuff. So I did the Oculus with the Ubisoft stuff, which that's the only one I got to try. It's actually my first experience with VR, so it was pretty cool. Oh, they did have one other thing that I didn't do. So for the upcoming South Park game, they've created this device called the Oculus Rift. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah.
Where you basically, it's a device that you strap to your face, and it gives you odors. And so, the South Park game...
Odors?
So the South Park game has a lot of, how shall we call it, lowbrow humor. Not the kind of humor that we go for on this show, but that kind of lowbrow.
No.
So the demo of the Oculus Rift was basically, at one point, one of the characters is taking a crap on a toilet.
Oh my gosh.
And these people are just like freaking out. You had to sign a waiver to do this thing. I was like, that's it, man. I had two brothers. Like, I've experienced getting farted on in the face. I don't need it as an entertainment experience, but it was pretty wild. So that was PAX, man. Pretty cool. Cool cosplay too. There's a guy that I think he's around, but there was this guy that was walking around. He must have been 6'8", walking around as Master Chief. That was wild, man. But some really great cosplay and stuff, and just good people, man. The other star players were, it was just a lot of fun.
That Touch of Malice you saw was pretty cool too. The picture you sent.
Yeah, that was over at the Bungie thing. So all Bungie basically had was like, I think probably 12 PS4s set up with monitors. That was kind of their gaming session, and they were just running the new Supremacy mode, a tournament. But then they had this merch area, and they had like a life-size Iron Banner Titan helmet, which was really cool. And then they had a life-size Touch of Malice.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Sweet.
Very cool. Awesome. So transitioning into some other news coming out of Sony this past week. Mr. T, what is happening in the Sony world, as if our listeners probably don't know already?
Yeah, right. I'm sure nobody knows this. Well, you seem to have questioned it in the opening, so I'll let you know at least. So they announced the PS4 Slim, which is just a PS4 that's smaller. They did that with the 2, and I guess they did that with the 3. I don't remember.
Yes,
but the big
minus
news is
the optical cord.
Okay, right. So with the PS4, they're doing the PS4 Pro, which is not a new console generation. It's I forget the word to use, but they're working in conjunction with each other, which doesn't make any sense to me. But so some of the things about PS4 Pro, it's going to run the games in their native 4K resolution. This one's kind of a big deal, actually, and I should give a shout out to TechEuphoria.com. That's where I'm reading a lot of this. But
literally word for word,
it does not come with a podcast. I'm reading.
Paraphrase. Didn't you learn how to plagiarize in college, man?
So it doesn't come with a 4K Blu-ray disc player, which is weird because the Xbox One S has it, right? But that's shocking that it doesn't have it, man. I don't understand why they did that. So some of the other things are that you're going to be able to use all the accessories that you have, your headphones, your controllers, everything you have with the PS4 will transition over to the Pro. Two of the settings, visual settings, the modes they have one where you can lock it in at 1080p and 30 frames per second, or you could do 1080p with a variable frame rate. So that's interesting. If you do it with 30 frames per second, you'll have, the better graphics, of the highest visual potential. But obviously, a lot of people like the 60 frames per second. It will support 4K video playback from streaming services, which is interesting because my wife just pre-ordered the iPhone 7, so I wonder if that'll work. I'm sure it would. It's it'll benefit. You don't need a 4K TV to really get the benefits out of it. The regular HD TV will definitely work well. This is interesting. It's twice as powerful as the existing PS4. So the existing PS4 is 1.8 teraflops. This is going up to 4.2 teraflops, which is more than twice. That's insane. How old is the PS4? That came out in... We're entering the 5th year now?
No.
Fourth year?
No.
Third.
It came out November
this
15th,
Christmas,
2013.
Thank you,
So
Google.
almost
okay.
6 years. Almost 3 years.
Yeah, so I don't understand how this isn't like a new console. But all your games, they're not doing any PS4 exclusive or PS4 Pro exclusives, or so they say. I don't know if I believe that. I'm sure
not
that's
for another
the
2
truth
years,
now, but
probably.
Once they have the PS4 Pro Slim, then they'll be
Yeah.
exclusive.
yeah, right. Which will be another $500. Oy. Yeah, so all your games that you have now and all downloads, they'll work fine on the Pro. It does improve the VSR. The PSVR experience. The way it's worded is that it'll be a good experience on the PS4. It'll be a great experience on the Pro. So if you're a Danthrax and you're a believer in VR, then I guess that's the thing. If you're me, and you think it's a fad.
Like the internet and phones that play videos.
Well, you guys have, my guesswork and my future telling have not always been spot on. I did rail against the iPad when it first came out. I thought
I think
that was
you
a
also
stupid idea.
had predicted Jeb Bush to run away with the election.
I did do that. I think a lot of people did.
Didn't you
Yeah.
also predict that touch screens would never catch on?
I don't think I ever said that. No, but I mean, I did say the iPad was stupid, and we have three of them. And I thought it was stupid.
Talk about not having microphone jacks in the.
Yeah, I'm pretty pissed about the headphone jack. I think that's a stupid idea, but of course I'm wrong, and
I'm there with you,
You'd
man.
probably still be using floppy too.
I would. I have a bunch of pictures on floppy disk, and I have no way to get them off. I thought cameras and phones was a stupid idea. So.
Good thing. I think I'm most excited about the PS Pro is the HDR. I think when the TVs can actually handle it, I think that's going to be a big unlock as far as just supporting that and having the capabilities. I think is going to make the games look a lot better.
A couple more things. The PS4 and the Pro players, like if you're running Crucible, you can run it together. You're on the same network, so that's pretty good. Anything? I'm scrolling down here. I'm not seeing so much. Oh yes, okay. So it comes with 1 terabyte, right? The price I believe was $399 for the Pro and $299 for the PS4 Slim. I mean, $100 when you're, I don't know I guess if you're cash strapped, you go for the Slim, but $100 for basically a newer console, or $100 more. If I was going to be buying a console, I would be saving my pennies, take a little bit longer, and get the Pro.
All right, I am going to interject here because I will always play devil's advocate. I was just online and I'm looking at shopping.
Are you shopping? No, I'm Cowboy Doug, just watching the shopping.
No, I'm looking at the shopping app on Google. Microsoft.
Let's go to the restaurant and watch that food. What you do for breakfast? I watch some really good steak.
Anyway, Doug, continue about your observations of the shopping.
I am looking at shopping right now on my Google.
On your Google.
On my Google app on my phone.
Google.
Yes,
On your Google?
yes, on my Google app on my phone.
Google.
Oh my god! This here Google machine tell me I could buy this for $3.99.
Wednesday, when they announced the PS4 Pro. I am a huge Sony fan. However, with the information that came out, if someone was to come to me today and ask, should I buy a Sony or a Microsoft system, I would say buy the Microsoft One S.
What?
Blasphemy.
Come on, Cowboy. All you've ever done since I've known you is rail against the Xbox.
I know. Microsoft One S is coming out for $399. It has a 2 terabyte hard drive in it, and if you want to upgrade from 1 terabyte to 2 terabyte, you're going to spend another $100 anyway on Tiger Direct or something. Why would I buy a Sony PS4 Pro when I could get a Microsoft One S for the same amount of price with more memory?
Because you can't play The Last of Us.
You can't play The Last of Us, but the games we're playing now anyway, for the most part, we could play on both systems. I already have a PS4.
Or Uncharted.
Well, Uncharted, whatever. But I'm just saying, I think Sony shot themselves in the foot this week by announcing the PS4 Pro. The 1S is out, and what they're talking about now with whatever system Xbox is talking about, why would, in my opinion, why would anybody buy a PS4 Pro if the Xbox One is out there, the 1S is out there and it's cheaper, and you get a 2 terabyte?
I think the other thing too is, I mean, like a lot of us, there's also just, the community that you built up too. If you've been playing on Sony and you have all your friends or all your kind of buddies are on Sony, you're going to stay on Sony.
Yeah, you used to be an Xbox guy.
Yeah, and so was Beard.
All right.
So I mean that you go where where your friends are, and I think that's the other thing too, is that people will say, "Hey, I'd rather play with my buddy than have another terabyte of hard drive space or whatever."
I 110% agree with you, but it doesn't stop me from complaining on.
Well, no, it doesn't stop that there, Doug.
It doesn't. Why, seriously, why couldn't Sony, I mean, Microsoft did it, and Microsoft has screwed up royally in the last 3 years with, with their whole announcement at E3 about the Xbox One, and then Sony coming out and saying this is how you share games. I mean, and the way Sony is selling their machines, why not put a 2 terabyte hard drive in it? All the, and it's not even going for, they just announced that they're raising the cost of PS Plus, the games that they're, releasing. So it's not just one thing. It's a multitude of things along with this announcement has frustrated me about Sony recently. And you bringing up the announcement on Wednesday just added to it. I'm not happy with what they're doing.
I mean, you got a good point. It should have some of it should have a bigger hard drive. It should probably have the Blu-ray, but it doesn't. I mean, I'm not going to buy the Pro anyway, so that's not going to stop me. But
yeah,
no, and like you were saying, I mean, the whole Slim, the Slim is great. It's going to get it. The parents are going to go to Walmart or GameStop or wherever and see, the PS4 for $299, yeah, and they're going to buy it, and it's probably going to come with a game for $350 or whatever. It would probably be a Destiny bundle or whatever come Christmas time. But still, I just reserve my right as a Sony fanboy to be able to complain about what they're doing. So
buy some stock in Sony, and then you can have a little more control.
Yes, buy a little stock, you don't have a lot of control.
A lot of stock.
Yeah, you can vote in the shareholder meetings. You can vote. Yeah, Cowboy Doug says,
"Where's my Blu-ray?"
No, give me that 2 terabyte hard drive because I'm tired of deleting stuff when I have to do how many gigs was that ROI?
It was 13 gigs just for that, for Destiny ROI.
You have that running list of like things you're going to get to. I'm getting, the upgrade, the hard drive space upgrade's definitely on there for me for the PS4. I keep having to edit. It's funny because it's always the kids' games. You don't really play that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You haven't played like a Dimensions in a little bit, or other demos. They download all the demos too. Anyway, let's liven things up a little bit, guys. I have a game for us to play. Enough of this. Gamer rant.
Welcome to Cowboy Doug Complains podcast. The Cowboy Doug Complains. Go ahead.
So the name of this game is called the Video Game Name Game. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and done a little research / creative writing. Yeah, I looked at the Googles, and I have five games that are that's really what they are called, and I've actually created some fake game names around them. And your job, should you choose to accept it, is to pick the real game name out of the bunch. So here we go. You ready for the first one? Any questions? All right, so the first one, I have Tongue of the Fat Man.
What is it? Tongue?
Tongue of the Fat Man.
Yikes. Sounds like an experience I had at PAX.
That's awesome.
Ew.
Backache shock. That's my morning. That's not a game.
Backache shock.
Don't want to know.
That's exactly.
Mr. Tuesday. That's not funny. That's real life. That's real life. Immersion.
Cowboy Dog, no use of the Googles on this. Kill of War.
That sounds like a Konami game.
That's an Eastern European indie developer. Yes, you play Kill of War. Yes.
Or Dreadstar.
Dreadstar?
Dreadstar.
That's like Beard's metal band that he was in high school.
All right, so what's
It's a basketball game. No, I don't know.
5 of these are... Wait, they're 5. How many are real? All of them? None of them?
No. So I just read you 4 games. You have to guess which one is the real game.
Oh, okay.
There's only one that's real.
So wait. If Tongue of the Fat Man is not real, you came up with that.
Correct.
That's impressive, dude.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, man. You play these games, like, that's almost...
Right, exactly.
Like, it's almost like he picked that one because it sounded fake. Well, what would Tongue of the Fat Man, what would that game be about?
But there's a goat simulator game. I mean, there's that toast game, right? So these games could exist. All right, I'd say... all right, what was the third one again? Last one was a dread
Kill
one.
of War.
Kill of War. I'll go with Kill of War.
I think Tongue of the Fat Man is real. I don't know. We're going to take votes.
I think it's too
I think
outrageous
it's too outrageous to be
too
true.
outrageous to be bad.
Beard, what do you think?
What was the third one?
Kill of War.
You play Kill of War.
That sounds like some obscure Japanese game. I'm going to go with that.
All right, 2 for Kill of War.
Cowboy.
I am gonna go with. I'll stick with. We'll go strong. I'll go with Dan, the Fat Man Tongue.
You can't use last names on the podcast, bro. How many times do I have to tell
Pretty
you?
sure I got yelled at by Cowboy for using his last name.
Why don't you just
Once.
tell everyone where you
What's his social security number?
I'm going to bleep that.
All right, well, the correct answer is Tongue of the Fat Man.
Are you kidding?
Shut up. All right, I'm gonna go.
Commodore 64, DOS, Mega
I had a
Drive,
Commodore 64. I remember the game.
1989.
Yes.
Premise. As an alien of your choice, fight your way through bad guys and ultimately face the Fat Man, a hard ass who needs a healthy portion of defeat. The tongues of Fat Man are indeed compelling.
Oh, hold on. The first link I'm under Google is YouTube worst game ever.
Holy crap, dude. I'm going to have nightmares. Look at this thing.
That fourth picture down, that
The Tongue of the Fat Man.
his belly has a face.
Belly has a face.
It shoots his tongue out of his. Oh, gross.
That's crazy. Tongue of the Fat Man. It's on the DZR must playlist, if you can find it.
Oh my God! I should not have done an image search. that was a mistake. Oh God! This is. And that's gonna. The NSA now knows what the pictures I look at.
I'm sure that's not the creepiest thing in your history, bro.
All right, well, hey, you know what? This next one is right up this alley. It's a little risque of theme. Okay, so here we go. 4 games. Name the game that is the real game.
Yeah.
Immortal O-Face.
Oh. I don't laugh for someone squeaking out a silent fart.
Dead Suck.
Oh my goodness!
Are these all like themed?
Graham, you need to be laid, bro. he's like coming up with all these. In a land of dying
I'm not doing an
orgasms,
image search on this one. I can tell you that right now.
O-Face endures.
Or finally, Lips of Plenty.
Jeez.
Oh, I don't even want to know.
What was the last one? Lips of what?
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Lips of Plenty.
Bountiful lips.
I'll go with the O-Face. No, I'm not going to go with the O-Face, no.
The immortal O-Face. There's no, well, yeah, Google that.
That's a great gamer tag. That should, hey, Cowboy Doug, if you switch to Xbox, that should be
Immortal O-Face. Yeah, Lips of Plenty. I'll go with Lips of Plenty.
Lips of Plenty sounds like a candy that you get at like the dollar store or like Five Below. It's like a mix between like
It's the
Good and
rip-off of Good and
Plenty.
Plenty.
What you have here is some Lips of Plenty. Plenty of lips. All right, so give it to me one more time. So we've got the Lips of Plenty. We've got the immortal
Wait,
O-Face.
Immortal O-Face.
I just don't know. Yeah. Hit me again.
All right.
Immortal O-Face. What was the third
Immortal
one?
O-Face. All right, here we go. Immortal O-Face, Dead Suck, Touch Dick, Lips of Plenty.
Touch Dick is
I'll go
a
with the
really
second
good
one.
one. I
I'll
guarantee
go with the
it.
second one.
I tried to play that the other day.
What was the second one?
I'll go with Dead Suck.
I couldn't
That's it.
matchmake.
Dead Suck.
I was stuck in the lobby forever. It's got to be Touch Stick,
Okay,
dude. That's the right answer.
Okay.
It's got to be.
All right, T.
The second one.
Lips of Plenty.
No,
Cowboy
I'm
Doug,
going
going
with
Lips of
Plenty.
Plenty.
I'm going with the second one. I'll go with the second
All
one.
right, you're going with Dead Suck.
Yeah, Dead Suck.
Beard, where are you going?
Yep.
You're going Dead Suck.
I'm going Dead Suck.
Also a metal band name.
Oh,
It is Touch Dick.
oh
I knew it.
I am not Googling that.
Danthrax. 2 for 2.
I am going to do it. Actually, I'm on my work computer. Maybe I
Okay,
can do
so
it.
it's actually, the picture is hilarious. So it's actually, you guys are all perverse. It's actually more of a tool than a game. Touch Stick is a dictionary and translation title for the Nintendo DS, using the console's touch happy stylus. Yeah. And it came out in 2005.
They had a dictionary game for what kind of game is that for the DS? Here you go, kids. That's a disappointing Christmas. It's fun to improve
Hilarious.
your vocabulary.
So what'd you get your kids? Oh, Touch Dick.
Touch Dick. What did your creepy Uncle John get you? Uncle John got me Touch Dick. I'm sorry, what?
That's what I always wanted.
It's kind of like the image is kind of phallic a little bit.
It is. It's kind of like the finger, kind of like,
That's good work, Graham. Do we have any more? Do we have another set?
Oh, we got 2 more sets here. Actually, 3. We'll speed it up, but all right, this one's a little more boring. Okay, here we go. 4. Name the correct one. There's 4. Name the correct one. Firestorm, Fuse Rush, House and Echoes, Bravely Default.
Bravely Default is the game.
House of Echoes.
Firestorm.
Definitely.
Bravely
very much.
Default.
Look at that.
Oh, man.
Did you know that game?
I've heard it or seen it or something, but yeah, as soon as you said it, I was like, that's the game.
Bravely Default. That's
Bravely Default. In this game, you bravely decided to be default, boring, nondescript, except not really, or rather not at all.
Was that proper grammar?
I don't
I
know.
don't understand a
I'm
word you
reading
just
the
said. I'll be honest.
That's Japanese, so.
All right, next one up. Stealthscape, Spyborgs, Fusion Shot, or Dino Rush?
Dino Rush.
Dino Rush.
Dino Rush
Dino
or
Rush or
Diner?
Dino Rush?
Dyna, D-Y-N-A, Rush.
Dino Rush.
Oh, I thought it was Dino. I'll still stick with it.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Stealthscape, Spyborgs, Fusion Shot, or Dino Rush?
Oh, man.
Dino Rush has got to be a game. Even if it's not, even if you didn't find it, that game has got to exist somewhere. Arcade game or something.
All right, first 2 again. What were they?
First 2 are Stealthscape, Spyborgs.
Spyborgs.
I'm going to go with Spyborgs. I hope that's a game.
I don't notice this robot spying on me.
Cowboy,
I said Dino Rush.
Dino Rush. All right, Spyborgs.
It is?
Spyborgs it is.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
Actually,
that's impressive.
you're incorrect.
Capcom.
Dino Rush is also a game, and it's on the... I just looked it up after I answered.
Dino. That's Dino.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, he's Dyna. D-Y-N-A.
So I have to tell you guys a story. Just a real quick story. Kid, we've all got kids, and we were talking about. So we're talking about a little serious topic here, but there's a funny thing at the end. So we're talking about 9/11 today with the kids, as it is September 11th, and we were talking about how my father-in-law worked in New York City and actually was coming out of the subway when the second plane hit, right? And so this is my wife's dad's, this is Grandpa, and one of the kids goes, did he survive? Like, did he die? And we're like, no, of course he didn't die. You just saw him like a week ago. Well, then my daughter goes, Unless he died and they replaced him with a robot.
Like that serious?
What? I have no idea what she's been watching, but I was like, that is amazing. In a world full of spy boys.
All right, I got one more.
Think you know your grandfather.
This is in tribute to our founding game, the reason why we're here talking today. Here we go. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Shadow Warfare. Tom Clancy's Delta Flight. Tom Clancy's Counter of Assault.
Counter of Assault. What? Counter Assault or Counter of Assault?
Counter of Assault.
It was a particularly aggressive Formica.
Wait, wasn't Advanced Warfighter? That's
Counter. I get it.
Oh, no. That's the one. Advanced Warfighter.
Yeah, Warfighter. That is the game.
Yeah.
But you left out Tom Clancy's. Forget it. Never mind. I ruined the joke.
It's a cool story, bro.
Tom Clancy's looking at shopping is what I was trying to get out. But
Tom Clancy's looking at shopping. Tom Clancy's doing his evening shopping.
The Shadow one. My vote. What is it? What did you say?
It's a VR game.
Shadow Warfare.
Oh, actually,
It's Warfighter.
yeah. Gosh, I'm embarrassed. I didn't play a lot of the early Tom Clancy games. I'm going to vote for 3.
Don't get mad,
I'm going to
Hamish.
vote for 3.
Tom Clancy's Delta Flight.
No, not 3.
Are you late? Are you late for your Delta Flight?
Oh man.
The first level boss is the ticket agent.
Oh man.
Try to sneak your shampoo through the. So the answer was Advanced Warfighter. You are correct, Beard.
I knew
What's
it.
the code on the armrest, man? Because I was coming home, like, originally I feel like it's just, it's survival of the fittest. You take what you can get. But I had an older gentleman next to me, and I felt, he had the aisle, though, so I was in the middle. He had the aisle. I mean, what's the code there? He was owning, he had the whole thing. At one point, I put up my tray.
You were in the middle?
Yeah, I was in the middle.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's
Ubi.
terrible, dude.
I mean, at one point,
Middle seat's the worst.
At one point, I was up front too, like right the first row before first class. So it had those trays that come out of the arms, and so I actually put the arm thing up just to block him. Whatever. I was doing advanced armrest warfare, but
Arm fighter.
That was truly
It's
was
a
Tom
best
Clancy.
arm fighter.
arm fighter. That's the game. In a world where there's too many arms and too few armrests.
That's actually level
That's
3
exactly
of Delta
it,
Flight.
yeah. That's a good game, Graham. I like that, man. That's good stuff.
Delta Flight.
Hey, guys, we should put this on Kickstarter. I don't know, man. I've flown a lot of flight. It's kind of you kind of first go is whoever gets it first.
Yeah, it's the same thing in movie theaters, man, which is a pain in
He
the
like
ass.
reached up for the air to turn the light off, and I like snagged it. I was like, "Ha ha!" Moment of weakness.
There you go.
See, yeah. There you go. Did he put his elbow on you?
There was one
it
point where
awkward?
we had forcible elbow pressure. Yeah,
What?
like I was there.
Seriously?
He went down for it, and I was like, "Listen, I respect my elders and all, but you're not getting this.
You're like,
You're
yeah,
not- you're not getting this arm
aisle,
rest.
bro.
If you
Okay.
have the window, you lean toward the window. If you have the aisle, you lean toward the aisle. If you're in the middle, you have both armrest. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
It's written in stone.
Cowboy Doug, rules for flying.
Just about- yeah.
Delta flight.
Man code.
Man code.
Cowboy code.
When you're looking at the armrest.
No, seriously,
Yeah.
because if you have the aisle seat, you have all that extra leg room too. So you can't
No, I agree.
have both
I'm with
armrests.
Doug.
I agree.
Good
Alrighty.
conversation.
Yeah, all right.
Riveting. Okay.
All right, well, let's send on something non-game related. So what do you guys think about the future? Do you think that if you are...
I'm for it. I'm for the future.
Always support the future.
But I'm only for a future where headphone jacks are a thing, man.
How do you feel about a car without a driver? Because that's what I want to
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's fine. Just as long as it got a headphone jack.
Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of like at the level, and it's not, but like flying cars, it seems like that level of a thing. Obviously, it's not because driverless cars is a real thing, but yeah, I don't know. It might work for my kids' generation. They might be able to do it, but I don't know if I could ever trust a car.
So yeah, I don't think so. I have a about to be 1-year-old. Like, I don't think by the time he's 16, he's going to be driving a car. I don't think he's going to have to learn how to drive a car.
Really?
Really?
Mm-hmm. Just like I don't think, like the generation where it was like people who didn't have to learn how to ride a horse because they could drive a car. I think that's
Cowboy Doug is still angry about that.
Cowboy Doug remembers that.
Yeah. But I don't think, man. I think in 16 years, I don't think my kid's going to have to learn how to drive. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to teach him, or I'd like to teach him, but
Yeah, I mean, it'd be awesome, dude.
Why even have cars? Why not just have seats that you sit in and a bubble goes over you and just transfers you from place to place?
Like the Jetsons.
The Jetsons?
Yeah, there you go.
Meet Cowboy Doug.
Teleporting.
His game farm sim. Think of all the farm sim you could get into. all the fields you could plow.
Yeah, back to the topic at hand. I think car culture, for the third time, will prevent a fully autonomous society like just bubbles, because people.
That's a good point.
I don't know, man. I think there will always be. I think that'll become a niche. Like, there'll be people who are like, yeah, like I drive or whatever. But I think the mass, yeah, exactly. Like, oh, hipsters are the only ones that are going to be driving.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a good point, because especially in this country with this car culture that we have, I don't know, man.
People are lazy.
I was watching Top Gear, and the guy drove an Audi S7, I think it was, and it's fully autonomous, but it has like race mode and all that, so it'll just take you for a ride. But it's also a sports car that you can drive, and just like normal. So I think, I don't know, at least for the foreseeable future, I think that's the road it'll take, because people still like to drive.
That'll be like a hybrid kind of a thing.
Yeah, so it'll have autopilot in certain areas, maybe on the highway or something. But
I mean, I would love it, dude. You know what? I'd be playing Crucible till 4 a.m. if that were the case, because I'd just sleep on the way to work, right?
Nap, yeah. Yep. Well, gents, a lot of good conversation about the future, about Immortal O-Face, and about the many gamer rages that we all have within us. So, for Golden Graham, I'm saying good night. We bid you adieu. DZR JUI Episode 2.
Strong closing there, Graham. I guess, thanks for showing up or whatever, man. Whatever. If you liked it, cool. All right, peace. Thumbs up and a like. Subscribe. I think we should start a Kickstarter for Graham to get some hosting skills class. Taught by Danthrax.
Jumping Under the Influence is brought to you by DZR Gaming. DZR builds communities and creates content for gamers around the world. For a full list of our podcasts, please visit us at dzrgaming.com.